Let's crank it up. Oh yeah, to 7. Oh! Woo! You need crash protection. 1980 way. Right, I was watching some other reviews on this, and I noticed like Inja, he's a really good YouTuber, nothing against him, but I just wanted to show you guys that he shows like 21.6 or something like that miles for a full charge, throttle only, but he also was running it at 28 miles an hour. So he had it fully opened up. I've got the thing fully open, but that's not really a real world range that you're showing there. Your real world range, you're probably not going to be having this thing wide open the whole time you're riding it. Probably going to do a little pedal assist. So I'm just going to do like a real world ride it to the city and back up into the hills. So if you live in a hilly area, this might be a real good review for you guys who are like that. So we'll show you a little bit about it, and then we're going to come back and do this ride, and come along with me and check it out. For instance, the faster you go, the more hills you go on, the shorter the range. So we kind of want to see what it really is, if with a little pedaling, you know, what you could really do with this bike, and go into town and ride back up into the hills. So it'll give, you know, some hills, a little bit of pedaling, and a lot of different things that will make it more of a real world riding instead of just throttle. Because I know most of you guys are not just going to hop on this thing and pull the throttle. You're going to do a little pedaling like me. So anyway, let's check it out. So we're going to start with 100%. I'll show you guys. Cool display. All right, there we go. So we're at 100%, 0 trip. We're going to go into the city and come back like, yeah, I think it's about 7 or 8 miles. I don't know, you know, we'll find out. I don't really know how far it is. But we're going to ride just like you go to work and come back and make sure and see how much battery we have left, and, you know, that sort of thing. Just a real world normal review. Okay, guys, I got you guys on the chest cam. Got some horses up ahead, so we got to be careful not to be going too fast by them. Give them some respect. Don't want to spook them. Morning. Morning. Yeah, we don't want to spook the horses, so put this in the highest gear it'll go. Cruise around 20 with a little bit of a pedal assist. So like a normal, I'm just barely pedaling, guys. Like a normal ride with no effort, really. You could do this in a suit, but who wears suits anymore, right? God, I remember back in the movies in the old days, you see all the not in the movies, but the old films you see on YouTube of the 50s and 40s and 30s and stuff. Everybody wore a suit. Now nobody wears those things. It's just weird. So yeah, we're just going to ride down to downtown Riverside and back. See how it does. Kind of going downhill, I don't need to step on it, you know, didn't need to use any pedaling. Flat areas, I'm going to use it, just a little bit of pedal assist, so kind of a real world. And I have the thing set up on level, I think what it is, 28 miles an hour maximum speed. So yeah, it'll do 28. I checked it. You know, Inja checked his. He couldn't get more than 27, but I did get 28. I don't know if I was on flat ground or not. He's in Fresno or Clovis area, so he's pretty flat out there, so it could be. We are going downhill. Really almost no effort to pedal. I mean, it feels like I'm not even doing anything really. I don't stop for stop signs on a bicycle. Those are some pretty heavy bumps. This thing just soaked them right up. Really don't need rear suspension. It's kind of a waste if you buy one of those. Let's run this one. Nobody coming? Okay. Same thing here. Slow down. Check. Sure nobody's gonna run it. I'm just gonna go through. Typical e-bike. Still at 100%. Speed bump. Well, he's not on an e-bike and he didn't stop either. So I got to tell you, the thing that's way better about this e-bike is that it's a 52 volt versus the 48 or the 36. They have a much longer range and the hill climbing ability is so much better. I noticed that right away when I rode it. This bike is a 750 watt motor, but it also has it also you notice on the gauge it shows it going up to 900 watts at some points when you're going uphill and stuff like that. So it's actually a pretty aggressive e-bike, and it's great. I found it to be really comfortable. Going over these speed bumps and stuff, and I'm just ripping along. And honestly, you can see a bit of bumping going on in the camera, but it's mostly the camera, not really the bike. It's very smooth. So maybe I didn't have my settings very right on my camera for the. I think I was using HDR, so it may not have been using the what's it called? This guy just ran the stop sign right here, right in front of me. But anyway, the settings were at, I'd say 4. I put it on, and that actually gave you the perfect pedaling speed for doing 20 miles per hour, which is what I was doing almost the whole way over there. If there really wasn't any gearing to go any faster than that, so it just worked out really good for that. It's actually a good speed to commute to. Going much faster than that, I mean, yeah, sometimes it's nice to go 28. You can just pull the throttle and it'll go up to 28. It'll actually be faster than you can pedal it, but it if you do the settings. Now what you have to do is go on the handlebar and on the app on there, and you put in the settings. You go to speed, and you want to change that from, it's set at 20, and then what you do is you can move it up to 28 miles an hour if you want to go that fast. The legal speed limit for these type of bikes is actually 20, but you know, it's probably kind of loose. There's a few people out there that have cranked them up to 40 or 50 miles an hour, and that's going to be bad for the whole industry eventually. There's going to be a lot of people that, you know, are going to ruin this whole thing for people. But I really found this to be a comfortable, easy ride. I wasn't pedaling like really hard and pushing myself at all. I just was just moving my legs, and then when you go uphill, you just move your legs, and it kind of helps the motor, takes a little stress off of it, and just keeps it really rolling. If you wanted to get like a little more exercise, you could put it at 2 or 3. There's 7 settings on the app that's on there, and you can go from 1 to 7. If you put it on 2 or 3, then you'd be pushing the pedals a little more to keep it up to 28 miles an hour or so, or 20 miles an hour. So anyway, it won't pedal up to 28. It's too fast. So the gearing on the only complaint that I might even have is the gearing on the big sprocket. So yeah, the let's see, the big chain ring is, I think, probably a 42, and I think it goes down to a 12. I didn't count the gears, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is, 4212. And you know, it's about the max speed is 20 with that. You know, it would have been nice if they put a 52 or 54 chain ring on there so you could pedal it up to a faster speed. But I think the intentions were to give it to 20 miles an hour, which is the, you know, speed limit for an e-bike. That's what it is in California. I don't know what it is other places, and I'm sure that's going to get enforced as things go on more, because so many people, you know, going 40 or 50 or 60 miles an hour on e-bikes and riding in traffic and stuff like that. It's kind of a ridiculous thing. But I'm almost to downtown, and really, I put down the time here up ahead. You'll see the time that how long it took me to get downtown, and I think it was 25 minutes if I recall correctly. It really wasn't long. So, you know, from Woodcrest and Riverside to downtown Riverside in 25 minutes on an e-bike, and really in no real energy spent. Yeah, if you were too tired, you with the how much charge I had, you could probably just use just the throttle and ride home, so it wouldn't be that bad of a ride. Even if you were really tired from work, like if you worked in a warehouse or something like that, it's really doable for a commuter bike. Really, this is probably, out of all the bikes that I've seen and looked at, it's probably one of the most valuable for the price. It's probably one of the best long range cruisers for commuting that I've seen yet. So it actually is really good, and because remember, it has a rack, it has lights, it has suspension, it has a cyclometer on it, it has, I don't know, it has everything you need. I've looked at other bikes, and it's always like, oh, there's no rack. Okay, well, or it doesn't have fenders. Okay, you know, if you're riding back and forth to work, you're gonna want fenders if it's some rain puddles or some water on the road. You know, little things like that. You don't want to get on your clothes. I'm going the wrong way on this little part right here, but yeah, it doesn't matter. You're on an e-bike, right? Go the wrong way, go on the sidewalk, do a few things, you know, cut a few through parking lots, stuff like that, and saves yourself some distance and get there. So it really, and this thing just goes right up those things just so easily, and the suspension just keeps it nice and smooth. And it doesn't seem that way much on camera for some reason. Like I said, I think my settings are wrong. I didn't have my image stabilization on the camera for some reason, so it's a little bumpy on there, but it's actually very smooth when you're riding it. And I'm just going to go down to up here ahead in a second. We'll be in downtown at the City Hall, and I'll be talking to you guys a little bit later, so I'll just bring that up as we go. See you in a second. Alright, so if you know the area in Riverside at all, I went near Woodcrest, down the hill, all the way to, I'm at the, it's called City Hall, and it did it in 24 minutes. Not bad, in less than 30 minutes drive, and you can park right up to the front. So if you figure the time that you would save having to park and walk, and you can get your bike up closer and park it on the bike rack. The other thing I was going to show you is immediately what you can do for safety, and for the most expensive part on this bike is the battery. And all you need to do to remove it is just do this here. I'll show you. And the battery comes right out. So there's no issue there. In a couple seconds you can have the battery out. You could take it up to your office and charge it. So if you had a further commute to do than this, you know, I'm at 76%. You could probably do it no problem. Just take a little longer, and then take the battery inside, take your charger with you, you know, put it on the rack, take it with you, and charge it in your office. It is a quick charger. It is only 5 hours max. So most of them are 8 to 10. Mine is like 12 hours, something like that. My other bike is, and it's a smaller battery. It's only 12.5 ampere hours. This one's 15. So if you figure all that in, it's really a good value, because the range you can get now. So when they show on the website or whatever 50-mile max range, that's probably on level 1 with pedal assist. Okay. You know, so I was on level 4. I was doing 20 average. I was on level 4. Now, if you're on level 7 or you're just using the gas only and you're just pinning it the whole time, obviously it's not going to do near the range that they even show, because you're going to get wind drag at 28 miles an hour. You're going to get, if you have it on set up to go to 28 miles an hour, which you can do that on the computer here. If you have it set up to go 28 miles an hour from the out of the box, it goes 20. Okay, if you have it set up to go 28 miles an hour, the wind drag is going to bring your range down quite a bit. So that's what I was trying to say in the beginning. You know, Ninja shows only using the gas at 28 miles an hour, and then shows it to be about the same range as other bikes, but you're also going 28 miles an hour and you have more drag. So all those things factor in. This is a really good e-bike for the price. So anyway, let's ride it back home, uphill. See how it does from 76%. Let's see where we're at when we get back. Yeah, for sake of the video being too long, I thought I'd go ahead and narrate this section in. By the time I got back, I think I was down to 40%, somewhere in there. It wasn't even near 30. And just so you know, I mean, sometimes when you get below, like into 10 or 20%, it won't go uphill. So keep that in mind with other bikes. And this one here still had plenty of range that you could ride it uphill. So it was actually really good. Alright, there's nothing worse than an unboxing video. Real quick, I noticed that this was kind of worn through. You can get a little bit of damage because this thing came from a long ways away. I know when people say first impressions, that just bugs me too. It comes with a lock, really cool in the light. I think all this comes with it though. So it was in the same box. And about a gazillion zip ties. Let's get all these off here. Yeah, and some of you guys probably think it's going to come assembled. If you want that, you're going to have to go to the local bike shop and then have them do a tune-up and all that stuff, and of course you pay for that stuff, you know, you don't get it for free. Well, I gotta say, for a fat tire wheel, that's pretty lightweight, and it does have a really big disc on it right here. It's very large. And how's that for marketing? That's cool. Wait, there's something in here. It'd help if I take the plastic out. You know, I gotta say, for a complimentary hat, It's actually not bad. And I gotta say, guys, this thing comes pretty well assembled. I bought 2 other e-bikes, and man, it was a lot more work than this one to put together. There's the dog. Look at him. God, he looks so dirty. Oh boy. Mom's gonna be upset. You don't expect to get the thing from the overseas and then come you and not have any damage at all. So we've got our bars tight. I mean, you want to check the torque specs on that, and then you're going to want to check every bolt on this thing, make sure it's all tightened properly. So the front wheel had this axle that was tied into that thing. All you do is just take this off of there. Make sure your spring, the outside of it, has a larger portion of the spring, and the smaller part goes in the inside, I believe. Wheel up. Make sure the brakes aren't rubbing. Usually what I'll do is look at the caliper and make sure that the shoes are even on both sides. You just center them with a Allen wrench. This one seems to be pretty good, which is rare. They don't usually come like that. I'm not going to say yours is going to be like that. You don't know. So then the rear wheel, do the same thing. Make sure your brake works. And on this one here, we notice the chain is off, and that's a normal thing. Got to install the chain. Let's see. Depending on what gear it's in, whatever. Unless it's off back here too. So it's got to be on the derailleur. We may have to pedal it to get that to work. So let's just do that like this. And then the other thing you're going to have to do is adjust your derailleur. Again, this is normal bike assembly. If you've never bought a bike in a box, like from Walmart or something like that, that is what you normally have to do. And you need to go around and tighten everything, because they just assemble this. They don't make it so that you can just get on it. It's not RTR, ready to ride. It's ready to assemble and ride. So you got to double check everything. Adjust the derailleurs. Like I said, if you can't do that, you can always run by a bike shop, pay them a little bit of money, and they'll do it for you. Well, I got to show you some cool stuff that was in the package here. Again, bike lock. That's rad. It comes with, check this out. If you can see that alarm. I don't know if I'll use any of this stuff, but that's pretty sick. It comes with an alarm. I mean, these guys are really serious. This Magicycle guys are just, you know, the guys, I gotta tell you, the guys over there, really nice people. You can just tell that they're just very nice people that work there. I actually went to the warehouse to pick this up. It's in Ontario, California, and since it's right there close by from there, you know, a few miles away, so we got to put on the pedals. But I just, you know, there's a tool set in here. So I think, let's see if it has the right Allen wrenches and stuff to put this thing together. I think it does. So there's a tool set in there. There you go. You got all the tools you need to actually put the bike together yourself if you don't have any. Just a little bit of ingenuity, some time, and, you know, use your brain. And you can probably do it and do all the stuff that I've done. It's really, I haven't seen anything difficult to do at all for me. But then again, you know, if you're totally, absolutely noob, it's like, you might want to go to a bike shop. All right, so the pedal's got to go on. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. No, it's actually, you got to remember, one of these is a left-hand thread and one's a right-hand thread. So it's not been a while since I've done a assembly.
So this is the left-hand thread side. It goes lefty tighty, righty loosey. Okay, and then we gotta tighten that up.
Put the other one on. It's that simple. Well, I'm pretty impressed. I was pretty much thinking that the derailleur was going to be out of sync, and it is not. So it actually works good right where it's set. So it goes all the way to first gear. You have to click it once, it goes to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then seventh. Okay. So not only is this bike really good looking, it, when I saw the name Magicycle, I thought, oh, is this anything special? And I want to tell you, after owning it and riding it, I'm pretty impressed with this bike. It's pretty amazing. I mean, it came with a phone holder that I think is actually worthy. A lot of guys take them off, I saw, and put other ones on, but I thought that one was actually really nice and good protection for your phone. And when it's up here, sometimes it falls off, or somehow you bump into it or something. It does come with lights, and the lights actually work really good. I used it at night. I found that the lights on it were bright enough, and you could be seen. It has a tail light and a brake light. I thought it was pretty cool that it has that. The brakes on it are much bigger than some of the brakes on my other bikes, and they stop really good. When they first started this build, they had different brakes. From what I was checking out, they've upgraded the brakes on it, and I really think for cable brakes they work amazing. Honestly, at where it's at right now, it's absolutely out of the box. It's just perfect. Some of the other things that it comes with that a lot of them don't, and one of the things is this is a 52 volt, and what does that mean? That gives you usually what that does is it gives you a more range. So it gives you a higher speed, but when you go faster too, what happens is you get more wind resistance, so that'll take away some of that range. But if you just ride it like normally, okay, at a lower, you don't use a lot of stuff, a lot of pedal assist or whatever, you put it on a lower setting, then it's going to go further on a charge than it will if you have like a 48 or 36 volt battery. So the controller on this one seems to be like a really decent controller. It has this really nice little display that I was really impressed with. This, it has a really nice, decent looking display. If you hold these two things down, you can go to which is the plus and minus. You hold those down for a second, it can take you to this menu, and you can change. So like what I did is I went into the speed limit and I bumped it up to 28 miles an hour. So it will, normally they come out of the box at 25. So if you're wondering why, even the beginning of the video, how I could be going that fast, I was probably doing close to 30 at that point in there. So you can bump it up to 30. You could just when it's at 28, when you hold it on the throttle, full throttle, and you're on flat, I've gotten it up near 28 miles an hour. Somebody said they only did 27. Maybe they were in a flatter area, I don't know. It has a bell, it's kind of nice. It has basically everything you need on it. Now, one of the other things that's really neat, I thought on this one, that's not like on some of the others, is the battery comes right out. So you can just pull the battery out just like that and just pop it back in. So you can pop the battery out, charge it, and put it back in. So let's say you're on a road trip and you want to go to a further distance than the range gives you. It has a quick charger as well. So the charger has a processing fan in it, and it actually will charge the battery up very quick. It says 3 to 5 hours. I had it at like 50%. I put it on the charger and it was up to 100% in like an hour and a half or 2 hours. It was really fast. So unlike others, you can carry the battery charger, and there's even a space to put the cord if you wanted to, probably in here. I don't think the charger would fit in there, but it does come with a rack. This is another important thing. A lot of bikes you'll see in this price range don't even have a rack, and this one says it holds up to 25 kilograms. It is well built, sturdy. It's a decent rack. It's got a good like I said, the brakes are amazing on it. The derailleur system works flawless. I was really surprised with that. I think it's an Altus, is an upgraded Shimano system than the original, than some of them have too. So really, a lot of them are not apples to apples when you're looking at this bike. The other thing that's amazing is it has front suspension, and the suspension even has a what is this, rebound, or one of those things. Well, it has an adjustment here that you can adjust the front suspension, and I found it to be really, really smooth riding. So it's actually has a lot of very nice things that it has on it. So typically those are all the things that I wish my other bikes would have had, is a rack, suspension, You know, some of the other bikes you're going to look at in this price range are not going to have these things. Upgraded brake system. This is one of the best cable brakes I think I've used, and it's just little drag. It rolls really smoothly. Has a twist throttle, which is nice. Most of them have that, but they don't have the rack. They don't have, some of them don't have a cyclometer, which this does. This one has lights, which is a plus, and again, the suspension. So when you add all those things up, and 52 volts, you know, that's a huge upgrade, you guys. That's huge, huge, huge alone right there. You just don't see them in this price range with all those things on them, and all those things are significant things that would make it much more desirable to own. So anyway, I hope that this helps you guys. If you're looking at one of these things here, it might help you find a way to move forward on one if you're looking at it, and save some money on the gas. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and see your comments, and have a good day.